Hello everyone, hope everybody's doing good. I'll tell you, I'm getting ready to start this new project. I spoke about it first of last year and just never got a chance to do it with the way things was going on at work. And with more time here in the shop, 2020 did not start out and continue not to go the way I wanted to. A couple of weeks ago we started having trouble with the internet in the house, and I kept losing internet and get on the phone with the internet provider and check this and that, and they couldn't find nothing wrong on their end, so started out on this end. Finally a week ago I replaced all the cabling from the road to the house, in the house, all the network cabling from the main network system to all the way out here in the shop. Then ended up buying a new switch, 2 new routers, and eventually ended up getting a new computer to go in the house to do all the software editing, and even went and bought some new software to edit the videos with. So lots been going on here, but you know, that's the way things go sometimes. My network system was getting kind of old, and it was finally time to upgrade. Was using one of these old Netgear switches out here in the shop just to split off the cable, and now I've got routers, wireless routers with wired connections in the house and out here in the shop. So now I got Wi-Fi out here in the shop. Never had Wi-Fi before out here. But anyway, with all that said, like I say, I wanted to start a new project. I went to a yard sale a week ago and found a old DNA Maverick 250, and if you don't know what that was, that is one of those CB amplifiers. I'm not going to say linear amplifiers because there's nothing linear about it, but you know, it didn't have any tubes in it. I think it usually comes with 8 tubes in it, and I believe they were 6 KD6s or something, if I remember correctly, from 25-30 years ago. And I completely stripped the chassis down, as you can see. There's nothing in it. Totally gutted. Sanded it down. Went to Lowe's, picked up some sheet metal. There's a piece laying inside, and just cut a new piece for the front. As you can see the outline of the front panel where the stuff was in it. I figured the easiest way was just cut a piece, put in it. Then I got this piece that I cut out that's going to cover up those holes there where the tube socket was. So that'll fit right in there right nicely, and we'll bolt that down. Have to sand a little bit of the paint off and, you know, bolt it down. That way the plate gets good ground. I'm probably not going to paint that plate. I don't know yet. We may or may not. We'll just have to see. And I sanded down the cover, primed it, painted it. Paint's not perfect, but it's okay for a project. But I've been wanting to build a project that everyone could get into and be able to get parts for. And what I decided I was going to build, Bob Heil had came out with the pine board project, and we're going to build that project in this metal cabinet. And what we want to do is have 3 bands, 40, 80, 160. We're going to add a CW key, so we can do not only AM modulation, we can do AM and CW. So it'll be a AM CW transmitter. So, and I've also thought about building a VFO for this unit, and this is one reason why I wanted to go with this chassis, because it was a little bit bigger, and hopefully we can get everything that we want to put in the, inside of it. I think there's going to be enough room. The VFO still going to be questionable. The main coil for 160 meters is going to measure about 9.5 inches long. So getting everything in here placed out is going to be the biggest challenge. Like I say, this cabinet's a lot bigger than the one I was going to use, so maybe we can squeeze the room in there. So if we start out, we'll look here at the schematic of the power supply. You can see we have a transformer, and it has a rectifier tube. They use a 6x5 rectifier tube. So that gives us our, it uses 3 electrolytic capacitors, 2 drop-in resistors on it. And also there's a pilot light down here, but it gives us our B+, our grid current. It gives us our B+, the ground, and the 6.3 volts AC for the 2 filaments. And you could solid state this and put a full bridge wave rectifier, but I kind of like tubes myself, and this is the 6x5 tube, and there should be no problem running a tube rectifier in this. That's what it's designed to do. Now the good thing is, like I said, I wanted to make stuff up, to do a project where you can get parts available, and Bob Heil has several companies that are selling these kits. You can buy the power supply kit and the other 2 or 3 kits that you need to build this, and I'll get links to all that down below. Click on the show more tab, and you better follow those links to see. But I think the whole kit is like $185 for all of it. Now it's going to be missing some things. The preamp tube, the oscillator tube, and the transmitter tube is not supplied in the kit, but all your basic components are. All this stuff I have in stock, all but this particular transformer. That transformer was like $31, I think. It's a Hammond transformer, and I could buy this transformer myself, but I think I'm just go ahead and get the whole kit. And it's one thing that supports the cause, and then it makes everything that I'm using the same as what you would be using. Now my first idea was just go junk box style and build this, but if I go with some of the main components, everyone can follow along a little better. Now the next section in line will be the preamp, and this has equalization built into it. I use a 12AX7 preamp tube in this this section. Now this schematic doesn't show it, but there's also a bright dim switch, and what it is, it just changes the values on one of the capacitors that gives it a more brighter sound or a more flatter sound. Depends on how you want it. Now this is a very well circuit. This could even be used in a guitar amplifier. You could build this circuit and use it to ahead of your guitar amp, and it's going to have gain, treble, and bass. So you got a lot of variability there on the way this thing will help you sound on AM. It's a very old design, but it's a good working design. And finally, we show the basic transmitter. Uses a 6AG7 in the oscillator section. You can see that's one crystal. We will have probably 3 crystals and a 4th slot on the switch. Like I say, I'd really like to build a VFO with this. Being that it's going to be CW also, we would like to get a little bit more flexibility on band coverage than just whatever rock we put in it. And I don't think that would be hard to do. A 6V6 for the amplifier is what he uses in this design, and it'll do around 4 to 5 watts. And you know, thinking, oh, that's not much power at all, but believe me, you can have a blast on AM running low power with something like this. You can see our 365 picofarad tuning capacitor. It's all band coil, and you see it shows a tap here. This is where you can tap it. This is set for 80 meters, and you can tap it like 14 turns back, and then use just part of this for the 40 meter band. But if we use the full coil, we can get 160 meters, 80 meters, and 40 meters out of this, plus an auxiliary. I don't know how well this would work on 20 meters or anything higher. I'm just not sure how this circuit would work. But you know, for AM, your top 3 bands, 160, 80, and 40 meters. Now, one thing to incorporate, again, we want to do this a little bit differently. We'll put, see, this is a L network for the output section. Well, also come over here on this side and put in about a 720 puff capacitor and make this into a pi network. That'll give it a little more flexibility at tuning the antenna, and you know, taking that high impedance from the tube and sticking it so it'll load it at 50 ohms. So I'm sitting here and we're looking inside the chassis. This is the front over here on this side. This is the rear of the unit. This chassis is about 10 inches by 12 inches, and we got a 2.5 inch space under the chassis, which gives us about 4 3/4 area here in the top to work with. Now, you know, I'm talking about incorporating a band switch, and you probably wondering, you know, that sounds so complicated to folks, but it's really not. We'll come through under the bottom with one shaft, and we'll put a wafer switch up here at the front that will change the band crystals, and then back here at the back we'll have another wafer switch that will change the taps on the coil. So that way it kills, you know, 2 birds with 1 stone. The next thing I want to do, like I said, I do have this other piece of metal to rivet in here to cover up all these holes here. We got to put a power supply in, so we'll probably mount a transformer back here. Probably go with the oscillator somewhere up in this area, and then maybe the preamp section somewhere over here on this side. Now I'm hoping with that band coil being 9.5 inches long, that we should be able to get it somewhere over here in this section. That way that'll take this whole section over here just for band switching. Or we may just go ahead and flip-flop everything around, now that I'm thinking of it, because on the back we already have SO239 jacks cut out here, and there's two, which is good, because what we can do, we can have one for the antenna. We'll put a change relay in, and you'll be able to plug your receiver directly into this one, so that when you key up the transmitter, it will short the receive antenna wire, and you'll have a good TR switching in there. And then if I decide to go ahead and build the VFO and put in here, I think this section right here, top and probably some in the bottom, will give just enough room to get a good solid VFO. Now I could probably build a solid state VFO and put in here, but I think I'll go with something on the lines of how E.F. Johnson built their VFOs for their equipment, and be something similar to that. And we'll just have to see. I have to see what the voltage requirements is going to be. You know, we're only going to be working with one small transformer here, so you know, yes, it's possible to upgrade that transformer, and I believe the transformer that they're selling will mount in the bottom. We're just going to have to take a look at all this. But I really want to go ahead and get this project started as I'm working through some other stuff here in the shop. So we'll have something that's fun to do, and also something to learn by. I think it'll be a good experience for everyone. Be a good experience for me. Like I say, I've always wanted to build one since I've seen this project, and I think this will be a pretty good project to go with. You know, then once the cabinet, you know, everything is buttoned up and done, I think it's going to be a decent little cabinet to work with. It looks good. I think this gray that I chose on it looks real good. Matches, it's good and shiny. You can see yourself in it. But you know, just be real easy foundation to work with. Like I say, I picked this thing up at a yard sale. I paid under 20 bucks for it. But you know, it was a complete unit, less tubes. And another good thing, when you buy something like this, you just get all kinds of parts that come off of it. There's a 365 picofarad capacitor there, switch. This is probably a 30-40 picofarad trimmer capacitor. There's some good wires, a good piece of coil if you want to use a coil out of it. And two transformers. Now these are about 700 volts with a center tap, 6.3. Not sure what. Oh, these are your AC wires. So, you know, and it's probably 250 mils. And not only did you get one in that, you get two. And I've checked both transformers, and both transformers are working as they should. So yeah, you know, you get a lot of parts. There's a 302 cap with a little coil on it. There's many terminal strips with little components and coils and transistors and stuff on it. I wouldn't use none of the capacitors, but you know, in a pinch, some of these components, you know, there's a 0.01 1 kilovolt ceramic disc capacitor, you know, a bunch of small ones. And for projects, stuff like that is good to have around. There's two of these little meters, more 0.01s at 1 kilovolts. But yeah, there's two of these little meters in there. There's the other one. They're both rated for the same Lots of old style switches, you know, toggle switches that you can use. There's even a 110 volt fan. It's like the old record player motor style fan. And you know, there's some tube sockets in there, but you know, you don't know what kind of condition tube sockets in. You wouldn't want to reuse these anyway. You could go out and buy new ones cheaper. So that's just trash, you know. Also, there's a couple of 110 volt relays. So if you wanted to make some TR switches for your old AM transmitters, like your Johnsons or Apaches or whatever, you know, there's a couple of 110 volt relays. So anyway, not only did I pick this one up, I picked up a couple more. It's one with no chassis. I think it was a Mako or something. Can't remember. But it's out in the garage. It has no chassis around it, but you know, like I say, Lowe's sells plenty of this sheet metal, and all you need is a metal brake to bend it and get it the way you want it. Yeah, so there you go, guys. I think this will be a fun project. Should be a good learning experience, and I'm gonna go ahead and get started on this right away, and we should have some real fun doing it. Now, when I started, you know, thought about this a little over a year ago. I had also talked with Bob Heil about it, and he invited me on Ham Nation to talk with it. In fact, I went out and bought the equipment so I could get logged in and, you know, shoot the video straight for their show. But you know, guys, the more I thought about it, it's not, my videos are not about me. My videos is about sharing stuff with you guys and helping folks that's coming along get into it to be able to work on their own gear. So, you know, I'm not really into you know, letting everything be about me. You know, it's just the way I am. That's why I don't do a lot of well, that's why I don't do any talking head shots or anything, you know. I'm just the man in the middle that's passing the information off to you guys. And it's, my videos are about you, not me. Plain and simple. You know, if I can get stuff out that y'all can enjoy and use and learn from, then that's all the reward that I need. That makes me happy. So, next thing I got to do is get in the house and start editing some videos and try out this new software and see how I can like it and see how easy it's going to be. I'm going to try to do this video with the new software. Like I say, I haven't even used it yet. I got it downloaded, got it installed on the new computer in the house, so we'll see how that goes. And maybe with all that said, things will start coming along a little better now. I got quite a bit of videos that need to be edited and uploaded. Takes time. Time has been slack, but time has gotten a lot better now. Anyway, guys, I'd like to hear your comments on this down below. Tell me what you think. And you know, I want to say thanks to my patrons. They're the ones that help do projects like this. You know, they put the funds available to go out and do things. Anyway, we'll get busy on it within the next couple of weeks and get some video out pretty quick on it, on the design layout on how I want to do this. Parts list is already done. Getting ready to order those today, and we'll have fun. So anyway, We'll see you in the next video now. Bye.